Hi guys, and welcome to the tour of Polar Seal, our very own Beneteau Oceanis 40 two cabins version from 2007. Today we are going to go through the foredeck, our sail equipment, our solar panels. We're going to go through the cockpit and look at our navigation systems. Then I will take you down in the cabin and show you everything around. This might end up being a little bit of a long video, so I've divided everything into sections, which you will find in the description down below, so you can click through the parts that you really want to see or skip the ones that don't interest you so much. Alright, shall we do this? Before we start, I feel we need to re-establish some important truths about Polar Seal. You see, our boat is not a Beneteau. She's a Beneteau. Okay, now Beneteau, don't hate me for this. The boat came like this. On the other hand, this right here. Yeah, I did that. This is the exhaust cover, and it's a part that cost 400 euros, and I haven't found it in me to replace it yet. Polar Seal is a Beneteau Oceanis 40 from 2007, two cabins layout, which is also called the owner's version, as opposed to most of her sister ships, which feature a three cabin layout. Polar Seal has a bigger galley, a garage in the cockpit, and a bigger bathroom, which I am going to show you later on in this video. Polar Seal has a 320 liters total capacity of water in the two tanks that are situated at the front and at the back. Energy-wise, we have a set of 240 ampere-hour batteries, so total 380, that we can charge either on the engine, on shore power, or on the solar panels that I am going to show you later on. You guys want to come on board? Windlass is electric, and this is where we keep our 75 meters of chain. Let's just face it, it's nothing special. Our anchor is a 16 kilo Delta that came with the boat. Now, we've never dragged yet, but we've also not anchored that much. When we get into the med, having a good anchor is an absolute must for us. When the boat is the place where you sleep every night, being able to rely on your anchor and not having to wake up every hour or two to make sure that you're not dragging is increasing your quality of life quite a bit. We're in the market for a new anchor, which is definitely something that we will need to upgrade soon, and we are looking at getting either a Rockna 20 kilo or a Spade 20 kilo. I would very much like to buy the stainless steel version of one of those anchors, but they come at 3 times the price of regular steel, and although I am very cognizant of Polar Seal's good look, function comes first. Sorry, baby. We have 400 watts of walk-on solar panels that we installed this winter in what turned to be a project that was a little more complicated than we thought it would be. Now, to be perfectly honest, we don't get 400 watts in our battery. Brian mounted them on 2 different sets of LPPTs to help with the issue of shading, but he's mentioned that he hasn't been as satisfied as he thought he would be. This year, we invested in brand new sails. We bought a brand new mainsail and a brand new Genoa from a Swedish sailmaker. It's actually a UK sailmaker, but from their office in Sweden, that we are very happy with. Both our sails come with blue water upgrades, which means that they have reinforcements in zones that could be a little sensitive, and some more UV protections. On board, we also carry a high-cut jib that came with the boat and a storm jib that we've never used. We kept our old Genoa, which is completely stretched and frankly isn't too big of a help. We kept it because we want to be able to fly our new Genoa and our old Genoa wing on wing, and the reason why we want to do that is because we don't have a spinnaker. Yep, do not have a downwind sail. And because we don't have a downwind sail, this year we invested in a whisker pole. Instead of spending 3,000, 4,000 euros in a downwind sail, we spent 400 euros to buy this whisker pole, which enables us to catch the lighter versions of downwinds a little more efficiently. Surprisingly enough though, we do have an asymmetric spinnaker pole that came with the boat. Eventually we realized that it was broken, and we think that the former owner had an incident with his spinnaker that involved a big blow up that probably tore apart the asymmetric spinnaker and broke the pole in the meantime. As you can see, all the lines run back to the cockpit, which is where I am taking you next. Welcome to the cockpit! This is a traveler control, topping lift, Genoa halyard, main halyard, second reefing line. The first reefing line is on the other side. And this is the vent control. This is an electric winch, which makes hoisting the mainsail quite easy. Another tour. Whenever I want to do that, I press one of those two buttons. Here is fast, whoop, and this is slow. And we're not gonna hoist the mainsail right now. This winch is not electric. We don't really need it to be. This is the main sheet, our outhaul line, the first reefing line, cutter stay, the spinnaker halyard, and this is the other side of the traveler control line. All of our lines are stowed away in those rope bags that we bought last year and that are already broken and mold, and yeah. One of the first things that we did when we bought Polar Seal was to buy brand new canvas. We replaced the canvas and replaced the spray hood and the bimini with this full enclosure of the cockpit, which we absolutely love. This enclosure makes the cockpit available almost 100% of the time when we're at anchorage or when we're in port, and when the weather is bad. We can just put up the walls all around, open the washboard and the hatch, run the heater, and there we are! A new living room! We have two wheels at the back of the cockpit, and in case you wonder, no, you cannot operate them at the same time. On the starboard side we have the engine thruster as well as the engine control. We also have the bow thruster, which is a set of two props located at the bow that help us maneuver the boat on port and starboard. Quite nice when you have a 40-foot boat. On starboard side we also have the autopilot and the wind instruments, and on port side I have the wind instruments and the depth. I love that we have a set of two wheels, but I really wish that the engine thruster was situated a little more in the middle of the boat, so you could choose which wheel you want to use when you maneuver in close quarters. In the cockpit between the two wheels we have a replica of our chart plotter, whose master is down below in the cabin. This chart plotter turns, I think this would be some kind of 45 degrees throttle. To be perfectly honest, I would really have liked to be able to access the chart plotter from anywhere in the cockpit, because it gets quite cold on long passages, especially at night behind those wheels. Typically what we would do would be to run the autopilot and hide ourselves under the spray hood to stay nice and warm. We could probably buy iPads and try to connect all of our instruments to apps, but that's a system that would end up being quite expensive, and what we have works. In the cockpit is where we have our garage, which is the reason why we wanted to buy the two cabins version of the Oceanis 4D. This is where we keep most of our tools and equipment. The garage is also the place where we store our dinghy and our electric outboard, which I would really have liked to show you guys, but the process of inflating our dinghy is... it's just a little too much for today. This is the outboard, this is the dinghy. Other storage space in the cockpit include this rope locker, as well as this aft locker in which we keep our sails, our stern anchor, our life raft and diverse equipment. Like this deluxe broomstick that we can attach to a hose and it's like, it's a good broom. At the back of Polar Seal we have this tiny little swim platform and a swimming ladder that is super nice. You want to take a dip? One thing that we feel that we are missing in the cockpit is a back arch. We would like to be able to install more solar panels, and above all, we need a place to hang the dinghy somewhere. At the moment, the dinghy is a little too big to fit on the foredeck. Guys, like, if you know someone who could build us an arch for our boat somewhere in the Med, well, you would make Ryan a very happy man. Welcome to our home! It's going to sound super cliché, but I am French and I love cooking. And one of the main reasons that we get this owner version, the Beneteau Oceanis 40, is because it has a much bigger galley. And so this is the galley. This is the fridge. I like that the fridge is not a top-loading fridge so that I don't have to dig in it every time that I want to fetch some food. On the other hand, I do have to get quite low to open the fridge and it's not always super practical, but you know, everything's a trade-off. This is a top-loading cooling box that could be a fridge. Unfortunately, the previous owner of our boat didn't go for that option, so this is where we keep all the beers and they are warm. I installed this spice rack and that was so that I would save space in the cabinets. It turned out to not only be really practical, I guess that seeing all the spices on the wall inspires me when I cook. This cabinet is where I have all my condiments and even some cooking utensils, so I always have this cabinet open when I'm cooking here. I have access to the oil, to the salt, to the pepper, to my wooden spoons, pasta and rice or noodles. In this cabinet I have all my cups and my mugs. In this cabinet I keep all the plates and the glasses. Now guys, in this cabinet is where the treasure is. This is where Ryan spends most of his time. I think he opens this cabinet at least 20 times a day. This is where the ships are. This is the snacks and sweets cabinet. So this is where we have the chips, the cookies, the honey, the cookies, and we have a bit of tea, but mostly chips and cookies. I should have a tag on this cabinet that says Ryan's cabinet, because every time that I want to get something that's in this cabinet, it's usually gone. Here is where we keep the cutlery. Here is where I keep all of my pots. Welcome to the chart table. This is our Raymarine Master Chart Plotter, where all of our systems meet and where we get all the information. Except for our radar. For some reason, our chart plotter screen decided that he didn't want to read our radar. Like, nah. So that is something that we need to fix. This system came with the boat. It's from 2007. It's not the fanciest chart plotter that exists, but it's here, and apart from the radar, it works pretty well. We do have an AIS, but we don't have an AIS transmitter. We only have the AIS receiver, which is something that is on the list of improvements that we would like to bring to our boat, but quite low in the priority in terms of the budget. This is the little Victron Energy Venus system that monitors the state of our batteries. Under the battery monitor is our inverter control panel, which is at the moment broken, which is why I have this little box here. The control panel needs to be replaced. Moving on to our bilingual electric panel. This electric panel speaks both French and English, just like mommy. This is our heater control panel, and I am so grateful that we have a heater on board. It was not on my wish list when we bought the boat, but I'm so grateful that we get it because we spent 3 years in the Baltic Sea and we run the heater in July. This is our LPG gas alarm. We also have carbon monoxide alarms installed in each cabin, as well as smoke detectors, and we make sure that they work. This is our Furuno Navtex NX300, which we can receive weather data from, and we actually never used it. But maybe one day it comes in handy. In the two cabinets that we have right by the chart table, we keep all of our... those buttons. We keep all of our navigation equipment, the charts, the pilot books, and in this one we keep all the first aid gear that we want to have accessible. We don't have a sat phone, but we have an InReach. This little yellow thing is our ditch bag, and it's enormous. In there we carry supplies of food, water, and first aid kits. We carry a copy of our ID cards and passports. We have money, everything that we would need in case we need to abandon ship. You see, the cool thing with my house is that I can take it virtually anywhere there is water. Well, water deeper than 2 meters. And so for that we have an engine, and the engine is... right here! Our engine is a 40 horsepower Yanmar EFJ4E, 3FJH4E, 3HF, that's definitely not it, 3JH4E. Whew! That took me that. We can access the engine on Polar Seal from under the stairs, where we are right now. The kitchen right here, from the aft cabin. Hey guys! Nice engine, huh? This is our living room. This is where we spend most of our time, and this is where the succulent lives. And as you can see, it's still alive and kicking. About this boat is the living space. We have such a great living space. We can stand, we can move. The downside of it is that when we're at sea and the sea is really rocky, there's a little too much space. To be fair, we spend most of our time at anchorage or in port, and it's the perfect boat for that. What I love about this living room is all the light that we get. We have big windows, which right now is great, but I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change my mind when we get to warmer climates and it gets steaming hot in this cabin. One thing that I really don't like is how those cushions are white. I know it looks nice, it makes like a really nice contrast with the wood of the boat, but man is it unforgiving. Ever since that we've moved on board Polar Seal, I've turned into a boatzilla. Brian, stop eating chocolate on the city! Don't get white cushions. It's not good. All the food that is not stored in the cabinets above the galley are stowed under me. It's really not the most practical place where to go get your food. I don't understand. It's pretty big storage space, right? I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but why can I not open the entire thing? I want to access the entire storage space at once. Like, I don't want to access it through this sleeve, which itself is like fully designed, you know, like if I want to go over there, there. Besides, I am limited in the size of boxes that I can place in the storage space because, well, I can only access it through this little top. And yes, this is where I keep my toilet paper. And I have about the same one on the other side. So we also have more storage under the settee that you see here, and if the food behind the chart table was not very accessible, this is even worse. I'm not even sure how I am going to film this because it's very, very narrow. Let's do this. I think this is the place on board where I like to dig the least. Oh yeah, and this happens to be the place where we stow away all of our office equipment, such as screens and printers, so... and those lids... I do not understand that design. Okay, storage space going from bad to worse. Now we have the locker that is under this settee. And oh, it's going to be a joy. Okay, in here we keep the sewing machine that I bought Ryan for Christmas, a little bit of sewing equipment, and in here we keep some bathroom supplies. So all in all, these days when I want to access my storage space, my house looks like this. And to be frank, it's not even that bad. I almost forgot to mention one of the most important storage spaces of this boat. In all boats, should you have a place to keep your bottles of Gros Hermitage? Under here, is where this is where we have our hot water tank, and this is also where we control the water system. I love that we have this hot water tank, we have a water heater, and our engine also warms the water. And when we're at anchorages and we want to take a shower, we run the engine for a few minutes and there we go. Close the curtain. Now if you want to know why the choice of a Beneteau Oceanis 40 in a 2 cabins version, this is why. My shower. Having a shower on board is life-changing. I really enjoy not having to stand in the middle of the bathroom and shower, you know. Having your own shower space is really, really nice. In the 2 cabins version of the Beneteau Oceanis 40, the aft cabin has a really big bed. Unfortunately not as big as I thought it was when I bought a 180cm mattress that sticks out. Yeah, so on the list of my boat projects I have cutting a mattress. In the aft cabin we have a little bit of storage space, and in this one this is where Ryan has his clothes. We also do have a locker in here in which we keep towels and sheets. It's quite deep. And to conclude this tour of our boat, we are going to enter the beast's den. It's the V-berth, aka my walk-in closet. There may be a few pieces of clothes hanging. I have 2 lockers, one on starboard and one on port. The one on starboard is thought for you to hang clothes, except that you can't really have a clothes hanger in there because it's not wide enough. I've added a few shelves that I bought at IKEA. So instead of it being a place where I can hang my clothes, I have a few more shelves. Here is where I keep most of my clothes. In the V-berth we have this little space that's like kind of an office, but it can also be a vanity. Now what's really nice is what's under my butt at the moment, and it's this little poof. And this is where I put my shoes. It's quite nice. Whew. Anyways, some final thoughts on the Beneteau Oceanis 40 2 cabins version. This boat works really well for us at the stage that we are at, meaning we are beginners. And the Beneteau Oceanis 40 made sailing accessible for us, both in terms of budget but also in terms of the functions. Our sailing plan, as it looks right now, will take us into the Med and probably across the Atlantic to the Caribbean. And I think that to do that type of sailing, where we spend a lot of time at anchorage or in ports, the Beneteau Oceanis 40 is actually a pretty good boat. All in all, we are very happy with the boat that we bought. Now, Ryan and I have played with the thought of doing some more exploration type of sailing and go to maybe some higher latitudes or go a little more ocean. But that's of course when we have a little more experience. Right now, what we're doing is just at the right level for us. And maybe the day that we want to take the Panama Canal and go into the Pacific, we consider a different type of boat. Maybe with a hull that has a little better shape for ocean sailing, or with a cockpit that makes navigation a little easier when you were on night watch. But for now, we're very happy with Polar Seal, and well, I hope that you like this tour of our boat. If you're new to this channel and you liked what you saw, well, consider subscribing and join this little sailing adventure of ours. Every Tuesday we publish a new video. As of now, I actually don't know what we're gonna talk about next Tuesday, but I really hope to see you next week. So guys, thanks again for watching, have a great day, and I see you on Tuesday. Bye! I don't know about you, but I am exhausted and I'm looking at the time that it's going to take me to edit this and I'm like, oh my god.